Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with day 15 of December Daily. I took yesterday off because the last few days I was reading instead of scrapbooking, taking a little bit of a break. So here we are with day 15, and today I'm going to be scrapbooking about the lights up at the zoo experience that we went to. We chose to go on a Thursday night, I believe, so the zoo was almost completely empty, just like we had hoped, and so it was super fun. We had the whole place to ourselves, and I had a ton of pictures to scrapbook, which is not something I love during December daily season because you're working in such a small format. I could have added pockets, but I would have needed a lot of pockets. So instead I'm going to add one big pocket right here on this large photo, and I'm going to add tags with the extra photos on it. So I'm adding this pocket with pop dots so that it floats away from the photo, and you can see that the photo that I'm working with as my background is nice and dark, and it's a cool photo, but obviously it is a lot of black space in this album. So I'm covering up some of it with this big red paper, and these tags with the photos on them will cover up the black space in the majority of the right hand side. So all I'll really have left to deal with is the black on the far left hand side. So you can see how fun and colorful those tags are. Of course, the majority of it will get covered up with these photos, but it was good to have a nice colorful base for these colorful photos. So I chose which ones I wanted to be on the front of each tag, and I chose the three larger photos for the fronts, and then I will put two photos on each for the back. So these tags, because I didn't want them to completely cover the deer or the photo itself, these tags are about 4 inches wide. Yeah, they're 4 inches wide because I trimmed down 4x6 photos to fit on them. So they're 4 inches wide, and they're varying heights. This one I think is about 8 inches, and then 7.5, and then 7, probably, maybe 6. No, they're 7. So just so that I could have a little bit of variation in the tag height so that you could see all of them when they were sitting in the pocket. So now I've trimmed down these photos, which I had printed originally at 3x4. I don't always love having my photos be different sizes. I've noticed that's one thing about my scrapbooking, is that if I print a 3x4 or multiple 3x4s, I'm going to want them all to be the same size, whether I trim them down or not, or if I leave them at 3x4. But these I trimmed down specifically to cut out as much dead space in the photo as possible. So they came out to be different sizes, which kind of fits the funky, fun vibe of the layout. So it works, but not something that I love to do all the time. So the first thing I'm doing is layering all of these photos, and the ones on the front as well, with some paper strips just for fun, to add a little bit more color, and because they were sitting on my desk and I didn't want to not use them. I'm using the Cocoa Daisy Cranberry Rose collection for this. I've used it previously in this album. And I talked about when I used it that I was using it on 2 pages that faced each other because I wanted to contain the color scheme. And again, this is another spread that is completely self-contained, so it's okay to stray from the color scheme that I had established for my December daily a bit, for something that's a little bit more bright and colorful than the usual pictures that I'm scrapbooking, with all that cute yellow and green in the colors, like Finn's jacket right there. I just couldn't resist using the adorable matching colors in the Cranberry Rose collection. So now that I've got the photos all laid down, I've gone through the die cuts and the stickers and the chipboard, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to embellish and have a little bit of fun with these tags. I don't want them to be too textured because they do have to slip in and out of the pockets. So I am stripping down my chipboard where necessary so that it's not as thick, but other than that, I'm just generally using stickers, or die cuts. So there's not a lot of depth and texture, so they shouldn't impede each other in the pocket. There aren't a lot of icons in this collection. The Cocoa Daisy collections are always nice and heavy on the words, so I am going to use the florals. There are some, there's like animals, but the animals didn't make sense in the context of the zoo because they're like woodland creatures for Christmas, so I'm not going to use those. I'm going to use the florals instead. And initially I was like, well, this doesn't really match the theme that I'm going for, but it actually worked out fine. They're nice little bases to cluster the words around. So I'm also using things like labels as another layering piece rather than the label itself or as a label itself. So just creating some clusters. I obviously don't want to distract from the photos, but I do want to make these a little bit more interesting than just a photo on a card. So same on the other side. I'm going to have fun embellishing these tags. I needed to put that good time sticker down. I'm glad I found something immediately. I had pulled out all of the die cuts with words that I thought that maybe I would use, so that makes it easier when I am scrapbooking something like this, is to go ahead and go through your supplies in advance and pull out anything that is relevant to what you're scrapbooking in advance, and that makes it so that you don't have to go through everything while you're in the zone for scrapbooking. So that works for me. I initially started doing it because obviously I record videos, and so it gives me less to edit down the line if I am already going through my, that was a Finn cameo, already going through my die cuts, but it's just a good practice that I've gotten into even when I'm just thinking ahead now. Finn always loves it when I scrapbook him. I was asking him what his favorite part of the zoo was, and he was telling me, but I don't remember. He was saying he loved the lights the best, and that tunnel that we're in on the right hand side is actually a giant snake, and so he was talking about how the snake was scary, but he wasn't really scared. He's just silly. I didn't realize that he'd stuck his hand in there while I was talking about it. So I'm finishing up these tags with some of the washi stickers and some of the little word stickers, just giving it a few more clusters. I wanted it to look nice and busy and had a lot going on. I wanted to use this one as well, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it right where I put, or on the same tag that I put the other one on. Cute! Okay, so now they're ready to go into the pocket. You can see that they are staggered and they stack together real nicely. I'm adding some string to each tag. And now I need to deal with a title and a place to journal. So I pulled out this card, which is actually also the Cocoa Daisy collection, but it is part of a DIY Your Scraps video I made and will be airing later this month after December Daily. So you can see it's all embellished already. I'm going to take these snowflakes and put them along the edge of the 6x8 photo to mitigate some of that black space. Lighten it up a little bit, and it's also going to give me a place to put my title. So I couldn't decide between the red letter stickers and the green letter stickers, but the red letter stickers were the wrong color red, so I ended up going with the green letter stickers. I initially thought that the green letter stickers were going to be too dark, but it actually works out pretty well. I'm going to use this ruler. It's actually my Tim Holtz little ruler for my cutting board to make sure that everything is going to fit, since it was such a long title. So I just put them on my ruler ahead of time and made sure that they fit. Last thing I'm going to do is put this down and put my journaling on it, and I'm going to call it good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci M. Reed. All of the links you need are below in the comment section. There is a blog post where you can see still images and pin them if you'd like. And I will see you tomorrow for another December Daily video. All right, thank you.